House Minority Whip Steve Scalise is with me. Sir, good day to you. Here's the number. More than 10% of the traveling Texas Dems have tested positive. What do you make of this?
Well, Bill, good to be with you. And, again, the hypocrisy when, any time that there was anybody on the Republican side that tested positive, they would automatically call it a super spreader event. The mainstream media would be running with it for days, and they would constantly be trying to blame President Trump for everybody who got COVID. And then here you have this event where they're literally fleeing Texas from doing their jobs to have voter integrity, by the way. This lie that this bill is taking away anybody's right. It just ensures that everybody who's legally eligible to vote can vote, but people who aren't legally eligible can't vote. Every state should want that. These people were fleeing from trying to do that. And then they spread COVID here in Washington, D.C. And, and so ultimately, I think it just shows that the Democrats live under this double standard. They want you to live by a different set of rules for them. The rules shouldn't apply to them. And the mainstream media just looks the other way. But I think people are seeing this for what it is.
Okay, a couple of things here. You have the antibodies, right? That's my understanding. And you also were just vaccinated a few days ago on Sunday. Why would you wait so long for that?
Yeah, months ago I had tested for the antibodies. And so I would imagine maybe a year ago, early off, I might have gotten COVID, but didn't really have any symptoms, but had the antibodies. But ultimately, with this new Delta variant, you're seeing, I've toured a lot of hospitals in the last few weeks, and you're seeing the cases go up. It's not to the alarming level that we saw last year by any stretch. We shouldn't be, talking about closing down the economy where some people are trying to do that. Some people are talking about closing things down again. That's not where we are. But you do see about 95 to 98% of people in the hospital for COVID are people that aren't vaccinated. And I just, I was ready to get the vaccine. I've always felt it was safe and effective. I applaud what President Trump did with Operation Warp Speed to bring multiple vaccines to the market in the quickest time ever. But it's not because they cut corners. They tested it on thousands of people before ultimately you got that FDA conditional use approval. So it's safe and effective. Yeah. I took it, and I wanted to show the picture to just encourage people. Government shouldn't be mandating it or trying to shame people. We should be getting the facts out there and encouraging people to take it. And if they have hesitation, talk to your doctor, because ultimately it should be a decision between you and your doctor, but with the understanding that it is a safe and effective and FDA-approved drug. And FDA is still the gold standard for the world. Other states, other countries marvel at our process, but it's out there available for everybody who wants it.
And your team Pfizer, as am I, back in April. So, and you feel good, right? I feel great.
Yeah, felt great.
Excellent. Question for you about what's happening in the Senate. Lindsey Graham says there's a power grab that he has yet to see before in his time in Congress. Here he is with Laura last night. Watch.
This is a power grab. The $3.5 trillion Democratic infrastructure package has got not a damn thing to do with infrastructure. They're wanting to put amnesty in the infrastructure bill.
Okay, so this is what we think is in it. This is the bipartisan spending, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. You got $579 billion in new spending, $300 billion in transportation. There's a thought that this thing is falling apart right now, and if it does, Dems go alone. And they may have a package in excess of $4 trillion. Do you believe that passes in America in the year 2021, given the state of things now?
Well, Bill, first of all, for the good of our country, I hope it doesn't pass, because this drunken spending binge Democrats have been on for the last 6 months is having a real effect on inflation. It's increasing the cost of everything we buy because they're spending money like crazy. They're paying people not to work. It's all borrowed money from our kids, and it's raising costs. Whether you go to the grocery store, at the gasoline at the pump, it's increasing inflation. And I think people across the country get that. But they don't want to do this for infrastructure. There was a bipartisan deal that Joe Biden himself walked away from. He gave his word to Republican and Democrat senators that he was going to support a bipartisan infrastructure deal. And then within an hour, Pelosi and Schumer threatened him, and he folded like a cheap suit and said, okay, well, we'll go down the tax hike road. Their bill on reconciliation is nothing but a massive multi-trillion-dollar spending bill and tax hike bill. They want to raise taxes in a way that would move more middle-class jobs overseas. That's horrible policy. But right now, the good news is they don't have the votes. And I don't think they have a plan to get the votes, because none of our members support that tax hike, Green New Deal, amnesty spending plan but some of their own members on the Democrat side in the House and Senate don't support it right now either. And so Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are scrambling. What they should be doing is letting Joe Biden follow through on the word he gave during the campaign, and that's working with people on both sides of the aisle. He's failed in that mission to do it, but right now that's one of the reasons they don't have the votes.
He's got a chance now. Yeah, I hate to cut you off there. I'm out of time here, but whether it's $2 trillion or $3 or $4 trillion, you name the number, you don't know what's in it. And Byron Donalds from Florida 30 minutes ago said, and neither do they, referring to senators on the other side.
Yeah.
Steve Scalise, thank you for your time. We will speak again.
Great being with you, Bill.